Ladies and gentlemen, I'm thrilled to introduce the PlayStation 4.
For the first time, let me now unveil Xbox.
Our next generation portable is officially named PlayStation Vita.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Xbox One.
Well, the wait is over. This is Nintendo DS.
So today, welcome to the world of Wii U. Welcome to episode 16 of the 411, folks. My name is Scott. My co-host is Jake.
Hello.
We are back and we are ready to talk games. Jake, I've literally got off a flight about 3 hours ago now.
Oh, you jet lagged?
No. Actually, I got really sick on the flight, though. A lot of turbulence.
Really?
Yeah, it was really bad. How do you go with turbulence?
Scared? Not good.
Yeah, I don't really get scared. It's just like I get really bad motion sickness. So
How bad turbulence? Like the point where you can feel your stomach, kind of.
Yeah. It's like, you know how the planes will suddenly sort of like free fall kind of thing, that for like just 2 seconds. But as soon as that happens, it's like, oh, I'm gone.
Yeah, right. I the worst I had was on my flight to America, to LA.
Yeah.
We legit just got served all our food and drinks and whatever.
Yeah.
And then the plane like dropped heaps, and all our food went everywhere.
Yeah, I've always wondered about that. What would happen to the food? I've never had that, so.
Yeah.
What were you eating?
Oh, I can't remember, but all the drinks like flew up on all the screens and all the, it was a bit messy.
Oh, that sucks.
That was the worst.
Yeah, but well, have you ever actually been sick on a plane? Vomited?
No, you vomited?
No, I didn't vomit, but I was gonna say Kiri, my girlfriend, vomited.
Oh.
And speaking of that woman, this is kind of game related. She was sort of in a car crash a few days ago, and now that she's finished that little sequence, she's named her car Crash Bandicoot. So
Yeah.
there you go. Good name for a car,
I like
Bandy.
it. Fair enough.
I'm actually glad that I did get away for a weekend, because I have what you would call a gaming thumb, where I've played so much 3DS. The thumb that I use for the joystick was starting to all shred and peel.
Oh.
It was a lot of 3DS playing. It's healed up a bit now, so I'm good to go again.
Let's have a look.
It was bad. You could tell where it was bad, couldn't you?
Gross. I've never had that before.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, a lot of joystick action.
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, it was a good break then. Just want to start the show by just a piece of non-gaming related news. Did you hear about Star Wars Rogue One?
That's getting like reshoots and stuff like that?
Yeah, so the movie was pretty much done and the trailer was out and everything, but they're pretty much reshooting half the film because Disney said it's too dark.
Oh. Oh. Is that from like people watching the film, or like?
I think so. Like Disney actually, watching what the film is right now, and
Yeah.
it's too dark for Disney. So reshooting it to sort of take it back to its maybe Star Wars, proper theme kind of guess. I mean, because Rogue One is a spin-off title, it doesn't follow that episode arc. So that's probably why it would feel a little different. It's not an actual Star Wars title. It's, that's why it would be darker. That's what they were going for, I guess, the director. But now they've got to take it right back. And I mean, how would you feel of like, especially being an actor on that set and having to just do all those scenes again and make them different and everything after you've just done all your work?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, you yourself, you've had experience as acting.
Yeah.
Say you've finished a project. It's all behind you now. You've kind of broken yourself from that character into having to get yourself back into that character would be a bit of a mammoth task.
It would just be really, really shitty if you knew you did really well in some scenes that were going to be cut and had to be redone.
Oh yeah.
And also, if you really, thought the movie was really good, if you thought that's what your character sort of was progressively, going into, but now, oh man, that would suck.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if, if you got paid it, which I'm sure they do. They would probably get paid more for coming back on set. And...
I mean, if Disney, I read too that Disney kind of budgeted for it. I guess you could assume that major movies like this budget for reshoots, but majority of the time don't even need to use it.
Yeah.
Would you say that's maybe the case?
Yeah, probably. Do you know what the budget is like for this movie? It's probably a lot.
I can't even.
I thought it was. Wait, so was it always scheduled for release at the end of this year?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's still on track. It's just mad reshooting going on.
Yeah. Well, you know, if it, I'd be. Oh, I don't know what to expect from this film. I'd just be disappointed if it doesn't come out by the end of the year. Then.
Yeah. So it's set before episode 4. Is that in between episode 3 and 4?
I think it's during the. Yeah, I thought it was like.
During episode 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I really know about it.
I don't know. It's going to be good to have a Star Wars movie that doesn't focus on lightsabers, I guess.
That would be
just
cool.
like what we were talking about with the Star Wars game. Like you love those Star Wars games that don't focus on lightsaber battles and everything. So
It's how much darker can Star Wars get?
yeah, I don't know.
I wonder what they meant by that.
I mean, that kind of excited me. That
Yeah.
word darker.
Yeah, like I'd say the Revenge of the Sith is pretty damn dark movie.
But then again, I mean, the characters, there was sort of this comedy side to it where the Rogue One probably didn't have that, and that's probably what they're going to add in, sort of a lighter side.
Sure. Well, even just from reading like the basic synopsis of the movie, saying it was like a group of rebels.
Yeah.
It just coming from like a Star Wars Disney perspective, you just kind of assume there was going to be like a little lighter side to it, don't you think? You know, like
Yeah.
there's always going to be like a comic relief character in
Yeah,
those kind
yeah.
of things.
Yeah.
Maybe there wasn't.
Jar Jar, Chewbacca.
Yeah.
But no comic relief character in this.
No, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to quickly touch on sticking to non-gaming. Quickly touching on, I just, in fact, this time last week I finished Breaking Bad for the second time, and I told you this: the best show ever created, the best television show ever created.
Yeah. I would disagree, but, you know, I need a bit of sci-fi in my shows, but
Yeah.
and mystery, but there is mystery. in
mystery.
Breaking Bad.
Lots of mystery.
But no, I need a bit of sci-fi in there.
That's fair enough. But I don't know, just the payoff. There are some points in the 6th season or 5.5 seasons, whatever you call it,
Yeah.
that do get a little slow. There are some episodes where they just drag on.
The season 3 and 4, kind of in the middle of that, is kind of like, I don't know. To me, I got the feeling that I know season 1 and 2 of Breaking Bad was not very popular, and then they started to get a lot of viewers during that season 3 and 4 period. And so to me, it seemed just like they were going to finish the show earlier, but then since they got a huge rise in viewers, they thought, oh, let's just extend it out a bit. So there's maybe these added storylines that really didn't need to be added in there.
Oh yeah, I can see where you're
Kind of filler kind of stories, you know?
I can see where you're coming from, because it did seem like they could finish at season 4.
Yeah.
They were wrapping up a few things, but there were little tidbits of loose ends, which were in the grand scheme of things pretty big to the point of the show.
And I guess
And
the more episodes you do with character development, the bigger the payoff is at the end.
Exactly, and
With these cliffhanger things.
yeah, and the payoff is just perfect.
Yeah.
So the third to last episode, I told you this, that is the best moment in television history. It's got a 10 out of 10 on IMDb, which is extremely rare. Like usually IMDb gets, Breaking Bad's like a 9.7 or something on IMDb, but this particular episode is a 10 out of 10 rating, which is not very common, and it totally deserves it, because I had to, I watched that whole last disc in one night, but the next day I just kept thinking about that same episode over and over, and I actually just went back to that episode just to watch one scene again.
Yeah.
Because it was that good. But yeah, awesome show. And then just now I've started watching Better Call Saul, and I'm 2 episodes into the 2nd season.
I thought you were just going to say 2 episodes into the series. I'm like,
No.
fucking slow.
No. There's 10 episodes each season, and it still hasn't hooked me yet.
Yeah. Well, that's probably why there's 10 episodes in the seasons. It hasn't hooked a lot of people.
I guess so. But by this time in Breaking Bad standards, I was 100% in. Like, there was no turning back. Whereas now I could choose to leave it. But I won't, because there are flash forwards in the series where it leads to point that it shows Saul's character post Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
In the show.
Yeah.
Very small bits, but it's just showing little bits of where the show can end up, and that excites me a little.
Yeah.
Because that's what Breaking Bad did very well. Flash forwards,
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
signals of where the show can lead to.
'Cause, how far back is this show set from Breaking Bad?
I think it said 7 years. So
He looks older though.
oh yeah, that's the problem with prequels. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Mike is in the show as well. Remember Mike? He's the old guy.
Oh yeah.
Saul's.
Yeah.
What do you call it? One of Gus's
handyman.
handyman. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And he's in the show and he looks older too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And there's still hope.
It's just like what is it? Gandalf in Hobbit.
Yeah, looks so much older.
Yeah.
And there's still hope. Like I've read articles that they've quashed these rumors, but you know these kinds of things. There's still hope that Jesse Pinkman will show up for an episode, or maybe be a little bit part of the series, and even maybe other, because there are Breaking Bad characters in there. If the first episode features Tuco, remember him? He was one of the first kind of villains in Breaking Bad. He's
so pretty much you gotta watch Breaking Bad.
Pretty much, yeah. You can't. Yeah, there's no point of watching Better Call Saul without watching Breaking Bad. Yeah. So anyway, I'll continue with it, and I'll keep watching just because I know the payoff will be good. Yeah. It's I'm not fully enjoying it.
Well, you said you were gonna start Walking Dead soon.
Yeah.
That's your next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I said either between Game of Thrones or Walking Dead, and you said.
Well,
Walking
I
Dead.
enjoy Game of Thrones more. I think you might enjoy Walking Dead more.
Why?
Well, you don't really like the medieval style stuff. Oh, you've already seen the first couple of seasons of Game of Thrones.
I have, and it just hasn't pulled me in.
Well, if it hasn't pulled you in, then yeah, watch something else, because it should have pulled you in if you've seen the first 2 seasons of Game of Thrones.
I mean, I enjoy it. It's just I have to concentrate so hard,
and you'll have to watch it again.
Yeah.
From the start if you want to.
Yeah.
So yeah, just start with Walking Dead next.
Oh, Game of Thrones is so exhausting.
It's not. It's amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, that's moving on.
Moving on. Well, Jake, congratulations on your new job.
Thanks.
You are a writer.
I am.
This is good news because now we've got similar hours in our jobs, so it means more time maybe for game time. Easier for us to make times to record podcasts.
Yeah.
Speaking of us playing games together, Dead Island. We've started it.
Yeah.
For about 5 hours in, or something like that, or 4 or 5 hours in.
Say about 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I'm glad we did. Like, you've been talking this game up for a couple months now. I'm glad we're playing it because I'm very much enjoying it, even though every half an hour I keep saying how terrible the game is.
I know.
Because it's a broken mess of a game, but I'm really having fun with it though.
Well, there was no. I wouldn't say it's too broken. There's just this really annoying bug that whenever we connect, one of us will have really bad experience just because our incomplete environment sounds will just drop out. So you can literally hear nothing except for the character talking. So whenever you hit or swing or something, you can't hear anything. And then the music drops out as well, and it's just, yeah, it just makes it really terrible. But other than that, I mean, what other bugs are there?
I think we've had just in the last night we were playing, we had that mission bug where we couldn't progress. We had to track another mission, but we couldn't track that mission
During co-op.
So one of us had to drop out to do that mission, then rejoin.
So that's obviously something that didn't occur for them when they were developing that.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, Dead Island was available. You could do that in co-op, not on the new consoles. So, I mean, someone must have come across that. I don't know, something just they haven't fixed. But other than that, I think it's fun. It's an enjoyable game. We're up to chapter 3 now, I think.
I think so.
But we've been doing a lot of side quests.
Yeah.
And I forgot how much just menial, boring tasks there are to do. Just, can you go get this for me? Can you collect this for me? Can you give this to him?
I would not enjoy this game on my own.
No, yeah. I mean, I did, but I think that was because it was very fresh to me, like an actual zombie game. And I really like the setting, of course. I love, you know how I love tropical settings. And, but yeah, and it was a zombie game, and it was kind of new to me that I hadn't played a zombie game before. And that's kind of what got me through that. But, yeah, playing it again, I just forgot yeah, it's just sort of like a bit, boring missions.
So boring.
Yeah. Just go and collect things and
yeah. But it's got that. It's just got that Borderlands pull to it. Speaking of Borderlands, we'll talk about Borderlands later. But
it's like every time we play it, you mention you want to play something else. Like, oh, this makes me want to play Borderlands, or this makes me want to play. What was the other game you said?
I think I said Far Cry.
Yeah, Far Cry. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's got that pull where you got a better weapon just in the foreseeable future. You can get a better weapon.
Yeah.
And that just pulls you in because it's so exciting to get what new weapon you can get next and how much damage it can deal, and you can see a better improvement each weapon you pick up. That's so exciting to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Do you know how long this game is?
It's
20 hours?
mid-20s, I think. And might take us a bit longer just because we're pretty anal about doing all the missions.
Yeah, I got to be a completionist.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of Borderlands, I went out and bought the Hampson collection today.
Really?
Went and bought out that because it was $35.
That's pretty good.
Pretty
cheap,
good.
Yeah.
And I was this close to picking up Kirby, the new Kirby game.
Is that out now? Planet Robobot. Yeah. Okay.
Because it's out now for $44.
Yeah.
Pretty good for a new Nintendo game.
That's cheap.
Yeah. I was because it's been getting awesome reviews.
Yeah.
And the footage I've seen looks incredible. I was this close to picking up, and then I thought, I'm actually in the process of tracking through some backlog games.
Yeah.
And I thought another new game added to that list would just...
But, yeah, I know. But then again, you're not going to find that game cheap again.
I know.
And I suppose if you do get it, it just adds to the backlog, which I've got a massive load of backlog right now. But that's because I bought games because they were cheap.
Yeah.
So, there's about like 3, 4, probably like 5 games I'm working on right now.
Yeah. And you haven't even touched Bravely Second.
Or Xenoblade Chronicles.
Oh.
And then we got,
that stresses me out.
Dragon Quest coming up and all these things. Oh,
that stresses me out so much.
Yeah.
But no, played about 4 hours of Borderlands this afternoon.
Yep.
Borderlands 2, I should say. It looks awesome on the Xbox One. It runs awesomely at 60 frames a second. I don't know. It's good to be playing that game again.
Yeah, I need to get it. Well, I would already have it if I had the original. And we'd be playing it, but, unfortunately not.
Yeah.
We'll just wait for Borderlands 3.
I think so. Yeah. I think we might have to wait a little bit for that.
Could be an E3 announcement.
Oh, man, that'd be top. Yeah. I think did we touch on Borderlands?
I don't think so, because we didn't really speak about all these other not independent, but other third-party companies like 2K and Activision and all these guys. But, speaking of E3, we have the official list of shows to watch if you live in Australia on the Eastern Coast. This is it. It starts tomorrow morning at 6 a.m, Monday morning, June 13th, with EA Play. So it's not an actual conference. I don't know how long this will go for.
Oh, it's not a conference?
No. That's what I found out recently. It's not a conference. It's an EA Play. So I think they stream playing games, sort of like a Nintendo thing, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And then it'll be sort of just like, they'll just, play their games just like normal. And I don't think they're going to play them for a long time. I'm assuming it's going to be sort of the same 1.5 hour show kind of thing. That's what I assume anyway. But that starts off at 6 a.m. Tomorrow as well, 12 p.m. midday is Bethesda. And that's it for Monday. Tuesday kicks off really early, 2 a.m. for Microsoft. After that, you can have a bit of a sleep. No, that would go for 2 hours, isn't it?
About an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Have a little sleep, wake up at 6 a.m. for the Ubisoft conference. Then, after that, maybe have a bit more of a sleep, wake up at 11 a.m. for the Sony conference.
Wow.
That's a big day, Tuesday. And Wednesday, wake up at 2 a.m. or just stay up to... No, wake up at 2 a.m. because that's when the entire live stream full day starts of Nintendo Treehouse. So maybe have a good sleep and then wake up at 2 a.m. to start that. And it doesn't stop there. It continues on to Thursday for Nintendo's final day of live streaming.
Because I don't want to miss anything from Nintendo.
I know. 2 whole days of live streaming games. So Monday to Thursday. It's a big week.
Damn.
I'm going to be just coming home from work every day and just watching it all. So everything I missed.
Well, actually, I want to quickly touch on something. That EA Play thing, how more and more we've seen Nintendo first drop the press conference, and then now drop the digital event, whether it be a permanent thing or just a year off from the digital event. Now that EA is dropping a press conference, turning it more into a kind of showcase kind of thing, let's play kind of thing. Do you find that more effective? Would you find that more effective than just showing them trailer? Would you rather, because this is obviously just going to be pure gameplay.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
In a let's play kind of style.
I'd rather watch gameplay than these cinematic trailers. I mean, I don't mind trailers when they actually show gameplay, but when they just do crappy, I don't know, cutscenes for trailers, I hate that. There's no point in watching that. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm torn because I love to see gameplay, and I'm presuming when they play the game they'll be talking about it too, which is really cool. But at the same time, watching cinematic trailers of a brand newly announced game that just shows proof of concept. At the same time, that gets me, even though I feel cheated by that.
Yeah.
Because it's probably a game that's going to be 2 years away or something. It's just a little bit exciting as well. I don't know. So it's all just in the hype kind of thing.
Yeah. I feel like we're building so much hype up for E3. I really haven't seen too much hype for this year's E3. Like, there's a lot of times I'm looking up E3 predictions and everything on YouTube, and not much is up there compared to last year. There was a lot of stuff going on, but I mean, this year just doesn't seem that, hyped up. I know I am. What do you love about E3?
Nintendo.
Yeah, it's good because it finishes with Nintendo, so there's always something to look forward to at the end. I hate during the years when Nintendo did have their directs at the end, you'd get to sort of like the final 3 minutes of Nintendo's direct, and it's kind of coming to an end, and you're just like, come on, just that one announcement that'll just make me happy. Just come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's like the end of E3 after that's over, and.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, more and more things. I mean, that's the end of the conference cycle, I guess, and then the thing opens up on the conference. What do you call it? Like the actual E3 event starts. Where people play games on the floor. More and more things kind of trickle out of that, like really little things.
Yeah.
But like people take gameplay videos on their phones and stuff and make it on YouTube. So I mean, stuff still comes out, but not in the.
Yeah, you sort of got to go looking for it.
Yeah.
After the next couple of days, you sort of got to go looking for new stuff that got announced, which we didn't hear about, and there's usually a few interesting things.
More obscure titles, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, things do get announced after E3, but also before. Watch Dogs 2 was announced and have a huge sort of developer. It's like a 20-minute developer video with their trailer inside.
Why? Why not? Why? Whatever. Maybe they just didn't have room for it in there. Or are they going to show the exact same thing in their conference?
They'll probably just show more stuff. It's probably their big game that they want to show. And
is it because it gets leaked and they have to force their hand then, or is?
I mean, I know the title got. I don't know if it was put up there on purpose or if it was leaked, but Watch Dogs 2 was pretty much confirmed. So I don't know why. Yeah. Just wait till E3 and then just show it.
I know.
Like, now that's 20 minutes that you could have put in there at E3, That could have been a perfect E3 video. Did you watch the whole video?
I haven't even watched it.
Oh, okay. Did you watch the trailer at least? Like
Nope.
the 3 minute? Oh, okay.
Nope. Because it flew under the radar for me.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't at E3.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Releasing things just before E3.
Dumb.
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
No. That's all right though, because I presume we'll see more of it. So then I'll be caught up with it when, in the next 2 days. I suppose
that's still definitely going to be there. Watch Dogs 2. I mean, for something like Yooka-Laylee, which a new trailer came out for that, if that's okay because it might not be at E3 at all. So for a trailer to come up like that just to show us what they've been working on, that's all right, I guess. Because
I watched this thing on YouTube where people like tore apart the Yooka-Laylee trailer, like looking for Easter eggs and kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And people found like real secret things to Banjo-Kazooie.
I remember seeing like a jigsaw thing in there.
Yeah, jigsaw thing, and then just the whole thing at the end of the trailer where it fades to black and then it comes back up, Banjo-Kazooie style. They've got the text at the top, and then how they mention like, oh, you know, we're not going to turn into that a car creation game or something.
Yeah,
referring to nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
I thought it was really clever. But then I read something else today.
Because did I know the guys who are making Ukulele, they made the original Banjo, but did they make Nuts and Bolts?
I guess so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they were still on still with Rare at the time.
Yeah.
But I read today that actually I think the studio's called Playtonic Games.
Yeah, yeah.
They're actually making the PC and Wii U versions of the game.
Yeah.
Whereas a different company are making the port to Xbox One, PS4. So that makes me think that Ukulele will have a presence at Nintendo rather than Sony or Microsoft.
Yeah, okay.
I guess. Where, you know.
Well, Nintendo doesn't usually include like third-party games, do they?
No,
they usually just include games published by Nintendo.
Sure,
made by Nintendo.
Sure, but this might come up for about half an hour in their treehouse thingy.
Yeah, maybe.
If
half an hour is little, with the time frame that they have, so could be just a little thing.
Or it could just be the thing that you see on the show floor and people take videos of it with their phones, which I'm happy about.
Yeah.
Because I want to see more of this game.
Yeah. Just to finish off our little discussion before we get moving, I want to give a shout out to a person called Thomas Murphy, who is our very first official commenter on the 411 folks. He just wanted to give us a shout out and mention Splinter Cell. He wants a new Splinter Cell to follow up from Blacklist. So yeah, cheers, Tom. You know, if you comment on one of our videos, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a shout out because we'd one day want to dedicate an entire segment to communicating with you guys. So
we're a bit desperate at the moment, are we?
Not desperate, just, you know, it's good to socialize with the viewers.
Yeah. Hey Tom.
But yeah, I mean, I think we spoke about Splinter Cell. I think it was just in a Would You Rather question about Splinter Cell, or
I don't
yeah.
know.
But anyway, he's a fan of Sam Fisher, the main character of Splinter Cell. So Splinter Cell is a huge franchise. I mean, there is definitely a game in the works, I believe, don't you think?
Sure. Yeah.
That'd have to be. I mean, a direct sequel to Blacklist, I don't know. I think we talked about we'd like to take it back to their old roots.
I mean, it's hard for me to say. I've never ever played a Splinter Cell game.
Blacklist was more of an action game, whereas the older games are more stealth based. So yeah, I think a lot of people prefer the older games than the new ones. So
fair enough.
Let's get into our main topic. Oh no, we've got questions first.
We do?
Well, the Would You Rather segment.
Oh. Yeah, 16 episodes in, I still don't remember the order of the show.
You got to get on the ball.
Yeah.
This week's my week to ask the questions, and since I just got off a plane, you got to excuse me because I didn't have questions prepared, but I do have just normal questions. They're not Would You Rathers, they're just basic questions. This is just getting to know you, Jake. I want to get to know you. Let's get deep right now, okay? Question number 1. These might get a bit personal.
Oh.
What is the most played game on your Wii U and 3DS?
Wii U is... Oh, I checked this recently. Wow. I think it's...
I was actually going to text you saying, can you just check this for me?
Yeah.
But then you'd know what I'm going to ask you. So.
Well, it's probably by now Twilight Princess. That's reaching the 80 hour mark by now. And then I know after that it's Splatoon and Mario Kart 8 with around 50 to 60 hours between those two. That's
right. I remember you Splatoon and Mario Kart 8 are pretty high up there.
So I think that's that. 3DS.
That'd be a Pokemon game, wouldn't it?
I think it's Pokemon. I think it's Pokemon Y.
Really?
Yeah. No. What game did I?
No. No. I'm pretty sure. I remember checking yours a while back, and it was a Pokemon game. Oh, what about Animal Crossing?
It's Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Take that back.
Crossing, yeah.
Animal Crossing. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a Wii U, but my 3DS. my most played game is Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. And recently checked my playtime with that. I've clocked 170 hours
Wow.
in Alpha Sapphire.
What do you do in that?
I'm just doing Elite Four, some shiny hunting.
Ugh. Jeez.
I never do it. That's not like whenever I play Alpha Sapphire now, I always have to have something on the background. I can't just sit there and play it. Like it's just something I do. It's just more something I do in the background because you don't have to even look at the screen pretty much sometimes when I'm battling. So
Speaking of shinies, when I was playing, I can't believe I definitely forgot to bring this up when it happened. But when I was finishing off Pokemon Y maybe a month ago,
yeah,
I found my second ever shiny ever in my life. It was a shiny Graveler when I was grinding for the Elite Four.
yeah.
It used Explosion
You
and I didn't catch it.
idiot! Your first move should be what's that move to keep it there?
Well, no, then it could still use Explosion.
Oh,
I
true.
have to put it to sleep.
Master Ball.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's
And
annoying.
like my first ever shiny, which I count, but I don't really because it was using an emulator.
Yeah.
Was a shiny, Ursaring,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I caught that. But yeah,
I've never had a shiny before. Ever. No.
so
I
disappointed.
watch these Twitch streams of just people spending hours looking for shinies,
Yeah,
and they get them. Hey,
they've got the math down. There's a kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
algorithm to it, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't like it in the new games because you have to do the sneaking.
yeah.
Whereas in the old games, you could just sort of watch TV while moving around until you find a battle. But the sneaking, you sort of got to watch what you're doing and be careful.
Mm.
I mean, no, yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Jake, second question. This gets deeper. What is your least played game on your 3DS and Wii U?
Wii U. Wii U would have to be Nintendo Land or Rayman Legends.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Is that in the minutes or hours?
Minutes?
Rayman Legends.
Rayman Legends has to be about an hour. At least an hour. Yeah, Nintendo Land's in the minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I can think of. 3DS, it has to be a downloadable title.
Maybe say your downloadable and then say your actual 3DS title.
Okay, downloadable would probably be SteamWorld Heist.
I've been meaning to get that actually.
Yeah, it's a great game. I just got it at the very wrong time.
Yeah, yeah.
Just came out at the wrong time.
That's in your backlog.
Yeah. Well, I know it's not a very long game, but
Yeah.
and then an actual physical copy. I mean, probably. I can't think. Probably, Majora's Mask.
That's in your backlog as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably about 6 hours.
For a least played game, it's pretty good. 6 hours.
Yeah, maybe no. I was gonna say Luigi's Mansion, but no.
Well, no. What about Star Fox 64? Because you played that. You've only got
Oh no,
a couple of hours in that.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know. I've played through that game.
You bet it's a short game.
It is pretty short. Okay, let's say Star Fox. Then.
Yeah. Mine would be downloadable. It would be Super Mario Kart. 4 minutes. I thought it was better. We played that a lot when we were kids, but yeah, I thought it was better.
Nostalgia doesn't save that one.
No, and I was trying to think of it before. With the actual 3DS title, it's either Codename Steam or Kirby Triple Deluxe.
I want to play Kirby Triple Deluxe. Why? How many? Is that in the minutes? Is it?
No, it's just over an hour, and I'm pretty sure Codename Steam is just 1 hour. So I tried with Codename Steam. It's I don't think it's on my backlog. I don't think it's going to be something I pick up again. So
Trade it in then.
yeah, but I don't like trading in games anymore.
Okay.
It could be worth something later on. You don't know.
Codename Steam?
Could
Okay.
be.
No.
You don't know. It could be one of those rare titles. Next question, Jake. What is a game that really excites you that you want to get into it, but you know it's probably never going to happen?
Dark Souls.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That game just looks incredible.
And deep.
Deep, and I
Yeah.
appreciate anyone and everyone who can play that.
Yeah.
I just know I'll never ever be able to do it.
For me, it's Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. It excites me to sort of think of having an all-nighter with that game and just getting really into it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, maybe I should do a Fallout 4 all-nighter in the lead up to E3 while I'm trying to kill time.
Should, yeah, that's something to do.
Good suggestion.
Or work on your backlog.
Fallout 4 is a backlog? What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I guess so. I was more talking about 3DS backlog, but
Oh, off topic, but backlog is also for me is Sunset Overdrive. It came with free for the month of April or something.
yeah.
Finally started it on Saturday night. I am now probably about 7 hours in. It's so cool.
Really?
I love
Okay.
it. I love it. And I know you didn't. I know
Yeah.
you traded it in pretty quickly.
You either love it or you don't.
I can't get enough of it. It's awesome. I just love the way after you get like a good rundown, getting all the movement down.
Yeah.
And then it's really funny as well. The humor's there for me as well.
Yeah.
It's very
It looks good as well.
looks. I love the game, and
That's good, then.
it's a pretty short game to finish. I think it clocks in about 11 hours. I think I read.
Did you find it hard? I found it really hard.
It's tough, yeah, but I haven't died.
Okay.
I mean, the controls is a pretty big barrier. I gotta say.
Yeah.
You got to know what you're doing,
But then this is coming from someone who enjoyed Star Fox Zero, so
me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's pretty true. Actually, I don't know. The game just reminds me of like Jet Set Radio meets Splatoon.
Yeah.
Like
it really is that.
it's freaking awesome. And then, like you were saying, I think in a Microsoft E3 talk that if they were to announce a sequel,
Yeah.
I'm all in now. I'm all in.
So it would excite you if that comes out.
Yeah.
Before you would have just been like, eh.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying this the other day. Like, I kind of feel guilty playing this game without purchasing
Paying for it.
Paying for it.
yeah.
I felt like I should have put at least $30-$40 into this.
Yeah.
Because it's that great, and I just love. I guess the only detriment to the game, it doesn't promote free roaming around the city as much as it should.
Yeah.
You can just go from mission to mission without having fun in
Exploring,
between,
yeah,
exploring,
kind of
which
thing, yeah.
I have been doing a little bit, but there's nothing really there to motivate me to do so. Which I don't know. And there are collectibles and stuff around the city, which those collectibles end up becoming upgrades and stuff for your weapons and how you move around the city. But I don't know. There's nothing there really pushing me to do so.
Well, if you really still feel guilty about not paying for the game, why don't you go send Insomniac a check? I think they'll accept it.
I should, yeah. I'll do that.
Next question. What is a game that you regret buying?
Ooh, good question.
It could be something that you've traded in as well, just because you do regret it.
Yeah, probably. There's probably definitely something I'm missing, but just in recent future, Battleborn.
Yeah. Oh, Plants vs Zombies.
Plants vs Zombies. Yeah, I bought. Actually, I'd say Plants vs Zombies more than Battleborn. I had more fun with Battleborn than Plants vs Zombies. Yeah, Plants vs Zombies was probably at $75 or something, and
Yeah.
I traded it for a value of like 30 or something. Terrible game.
Garden Warfare 2 this is.
Oh,
as
and I
well.
got talked into that game by friends who I didn't even play the game with.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
You were just looking for some online fun.
I was, and it didn't.
Didn't do it for you.
God, I wonder how empty those servers are now. Actually, speaking of empty servers, I finished Doom as well.
Yeah.
Great campaign. But the multiplayer servers are looking a bit sparse at the moment.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Which I'm not liking, because I really enjoy the multiplayer.
What are they all playing? Where are they going? Halo?
No, I mean, didn't another... Overwatch, I believe.
Overwatch.
Probably bloody Overwatch.
Probably all there.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So...
not Call of Duty.
well,
What else is there at the moment?
uh,
Just Overwatch.
just Overwatch, I suppose.
It's pretty popular here, so.
Yeah, and I keep seeing these articles, because there is season passes and stuff coming for Doom, but people are saying it's not going to save it.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in that. Oh well. Next question.
Last one.
Actually, did you want to answer that question?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if you're a listener of this show, you would already know Sunset Overdrive is a game I regret buying. That's probably because I paid $100 for it.
Can't believe that.
Another one is Story of Seasons. So they're the only two games that I've actually traded in. I probably do regret Codename Steam, to be honest, but I don't think I'll trade it in. Yeah, that's about it.
I'm just thinking if there's any Nintendo titles that I kind of regret.
I bought Mirror's Edge. Didn't like that.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of a regret.
I don't think I regret any Nintendo games, just because they're all great, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
See, I don't really feel bad trading in any other game. Just Nintendo games I kind of want to keep, because I know how sort of, if you go to one of those vintage shops, how expensive 64 games are now. You know, even if they're not that great, you know, it could be like that for Wii U games, 3DS games in the future.
Sure. It's a bit different now because anyone can go and download them at any point in time, but I guess the physical copy means something.
Yeah. To collectors.
Well, it's a shame, but like back in 64 days, the instruction booklet was a piece of art.
Yeah.
That's not the case anymore.
No.
Now you just get like a one slip of paper with terms and conditions on it.
Yeah.
How boring is that?
Yep. And then what is it? The point system.
No?
The Nintendo Club.
Oh, those,
Yeah.
The Club Nintendo.
Club Nintendo things. Yeah. I got so many of them that I never used. I don't think you can use it anymore.
Nope.
No. Last question. What is a game that you are ashamed to admit that you love?
I don't believe in guilty pleasures, but I'll indulge you. What's a game I'm ashamed to love?
You're kind of embarrassed by it, that you love it.
Gosh, I don't know. I think you need to give me these questions in advance.
Well, that's why Would You Rather questions are much easier, because you get to pick.
Yeah.
These ones you just have to answer on the spot.
Look, probably just taking it back to my childhood. I guess I had a deep love for Shrek 1 and Shrek 2.
Yeah,
And
if you could call those games.
They were great games.
They're like, there's some games that get released after every one of like those Pixar films. Like there's a Cars game and a Brave game and everything.
Yeah.
What about any mobile games that you just, get addicted to?
Oh, I mean, there's Crossy Road, but
Crossy Road.
but who isn't addicted to that?
I guess one of mine would be, and I'm not really ashamed, but would be.
I pointed to Fantasy Life.
Why did you point to that? That's a great game. Not ashamed to admit that.
It's a child
Fantasy
game.
Life is a fantastic game. I love that game. Puts me in a good mood every time I put it on. The music's great. One would be maybe The Sims.
Actually, yeah.
Not so much just to play normal Sims, just what I do with the Sims game.
What do you mean?
Build my own Big Brother house.
Oh, you still doing that, by the way? Are you still...
I've kind of stopped for a while.
Yeah.
But I'll get back to it.
Like, realizing how we spent so much time in The Sims, and then actually now listening to podcasts and Rooster Teeth stuff about their experience with playing The Sims, and they say, like, yeah, like, I felt so bad, like, making my sim work out where here I am just sitting on a chair watching a virtual character work out.
Yeah.
And I thought...
And you're thinking,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to get him so fit, but it's like... I'm eating Doritos
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, and I just thought, how many hours of that did I actually do? So
Yeah, that's...
I guess The Sims is a good choice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if I think of something, I'll come back next week then.
I mean, there's no point looking at my games, because all the games that I'm ashamed to admit, I've probably traded in, so...
Sure. I don't know.
I think I've traded in like probably 15 PS3 games, I reckon. There's a lot of games that I don't have anymore. So...
In some ways, like, I think I mentioned this in weeks before, but in some ways, just Nintendo in general. I wouldn't say I'm ashamed, but I don't actively tell my friends I play more Nintendo than I do Xbox. People always ask, like, if you're meeting new people or something and you're trying to strike up conversations, like, oh, do you play any games? Like, do you have an Xbox? And I said, yeah. I say, yeah. No, I don't say, yeah, I have an Xbox, but I play 3DS.
Yeah.
I don't say that, only because I feel like it's got this it's got this thing attached to it now that...
The thing that I'm struggling with at the moment is, like, just in public, pulling out my 3DS.
Oh, really?
Just like, I wish there wasn't this sort of thing, I guess, against it. Like, people sort of think it's like a kid's thing, you know? Like, I don't know. I wish you could just like, I wish there was just more people doing it. I know there is, like, if you pull it out in Japan, people wouldn't look twice. If you pull it out here, it's like, what's this guy doing?
Well, yeah, people think like that, but then when I see people walking around playing a 3DS or on a train, I'm just thinking like, hell yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I wish there were more of this, but that's pretty single-minded, I guess. Like, where in public are you thinking of?
Anywhere, really. Just, I mean, I used to pull it out all the time at uni, which didn't really bother me because, I mean, there's a lot of people my age there, but like, I don't know, if you just... shopping centre, I don't know, anything.
I still some of my best memories are going to shops with my Game Boy SP. Just like walking around with mum and stuff.
Yeah.
She'll be doing her thing. I'm just like trailing along on my SP.
Doing groceries and you're just like there.
Yeah.
Pulling it out.
Yeah. Like, I don't see... Well, kids do that now, but they've got an iPad in the front of their face.
Yeah, it's all iPads now.
Ugh.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't believe in guilty pleasures. Same thing when people ask me, like, the same question with music. Like, I don't care what people think if I like Beyonce or if I still like Green Day or whatever. I don't care. I like it, whatever.
Well, actually, when I was in Sydney, there was this channel, you know, Max channel, the Max channel, just music. They were playing this, the 200 greatest hits of the 90s, and every song that came on was just so good. So, and you knew every song that came on. 20 years from now, if they played the greatest hits from the teens, it'd just be like doof doof music.
Or just like, just terrible pop music.
Yeah, just crap.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much good music.
Doof doof.
It'd just be shit.
Like, yeah, I'm guessing like, on that thing you're watching, it had all the best. Remember every time we would turn on like video hits or something?
Yeah.
It'd be Korn, or it'd be
there was Blue.
Ugh.
You know, After 65. There's all that great stuff. So good.
So good.
Let's get into our topic.
They were good questions, by the way.
Thanks. Actually, I've been thinking about these for a while, and I don't know. I guess it was a good opportunity to use them.
Yeah.
Like, there were questions that I've had for a while that I just haven't asked. So yeah.
If I think of anything else, I'll get back to you
Good.
on that.
Let's get deep more.
I'd love to.
Could be a new segment.
Let's
deep.
get deep.
Yeah. So we were supposed to record this. About 5 or 6 days ago? This episode. Yeah. But it never eventuated. So now we're going to do it, and it's the night before E3, so perfect time to do it. We're going to talk Zelda, and we're going to talk what we want from the game. So, we had planned to invite our cousin to this conversation because he's a big Zelda fan. You're a big Zelda fan. Me, I haven't really played much Zelda. All my experience comes from Ocarina of Time. So whenever I talk about this right now, it's all coming from Ocarina. That's all I know.
Yeah.
So, I guess you're going to kind of have to lead most of this, but
happy to.
I'll start off. What do we want from the new Zelda game? Well, the main thing I actually want, and I know I've said in previous podcasts that I don't really want it to turn into this sort of modern day RPG with all these sort of modern, things, universal things that they start doing nowadays. But the main thing that I do want, and I don't think this is too much to ask, but I do want voice acting. This should be a must in a game that's going to be released in 2017.
When you put it like that, yeah, it seems a little odd now, I guess. I suppose.
A huge title coming to the Wii U has to have voice acting. You can't just sit there and read it.
I know, but
think of some big games that don't have voice acting. I guess the only one that I can think of right now is Fire Emblem. That doesn't have voice acting.
Well, it's got a little bit. It's got more than Zelda.
Yeah, it does have. Sometimes they start off saying the thing, but then they stop.
Yeah. And I actually enjoy that. It adds a little to it.
Yeah.
So
you can kind of picture what they're saying in your head.
You know what? You can't just won me over with that. I don't want full voice acting. I still don't.
You want sort of like a Fire Emblem thing.
I'd be happy with that.
What about Zelda's voice? Not Zelda. Link's voice.
look, I was actually listening to a few things today talking about this very topic, and they were arguing that to jump the gun a little bit, saying whether Link is going to be either a boy or girl, because it's still up in the air at this point.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later on, but it doesn't. Zelda and Link don't necessarily have to have voices. It could just be the villagers or the NPCs.
See, I think Zelda has to have a voice at least.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the only argument I'd see for Link not having a voice is because Link is you.
Oh, so you're from like a good example someone used was Half-Life.
Yeah, I don't know Half-Life though.
No, but the whole time characters are talking to you.
Yeah.
But you never respond back.
Dragon Age Origins is the same thing.
Exactly. But in that Far Cry, also a good example. Oh no, you talk a little bit in Far Cry, don't you?
I know Far Cry. I don't think number 1 and 2.
Okay.
Far Cry 3, you do.
Yeah. Either way, it's in that case that kind of takes me out a little bit. That would remove me a little bit more so, because everyone's talking to you, but you, I don't know, you not but that happens in Zelda anyway.
Well, all I can say is Dragon Age Origins is one of my most beloved games ever, and I got so deep into that game, like so deep, and like that character was me, and your character didn't speak at all, no voice at all, but all the other characters spoke, full dialogue. So if that could happen with that game, it could definitely happen with Zelda. Link doesn't have to speak at all. There could be full dialogue for him and everything, maybe even some dialogue choices.
No.
But
you're messing with it too much.
Simple ones. It doesn't have to be alternate endings or whatever. Just little simple choices, but they all lead to the same path. Just so you have more control of what your character does, because you are Link.
I mean, I think Twilight Princess had a little bit of that. No, don't quote me on that. Yeah. God. I'm going to contradict myself here a lot, because I want the series to progress, and I think the new Zelda game is going to be a big step up, just like the way the first Ocarina of Time was the first 3D Zelda.
Yeah.
This is going to be a big change, but in the same route, there are some things I don't want to be messed with, because it's Zelda, you know, and they need to stay unique and different enough to remain a Zelda game. I don't know.
If the characters are voiced, do you think that by now the actors would have done their voiceovers?
Yes.
So there are people out there who know. Actors who know.
Wow, that's interesting. They would take it to the grave with them. Holy
But there'd be a lot of them. I mean, I expect maybe voice artists do tend to do multiple characters at once as well, so there might not be that many, but I mean, considering this might be a huge game, there's a lot of characters to voice. Yeah.
It's just so exciting that we finally get to know what exactly this game is in like a matter of 48 hours or something.
Yeah.
But okay, well, voice acting, yeah, I'm still on the fence about voice acting, but if they finally reveal Zelda of what it is, firstly, they're definitely going to announce The Legend of Zelda subtitle.
Yeah. Oh, they have to do that. I'm so sick of calling it Zelda U or Zelda 2016 or whatever. I saw new Zelda.
I saw a funny tweet. You know how Smash Bros is just Smash Bros for Wii U, Smash Bros for 3DS?
Yeah.
I think they're just going to call it Legend of Zelda. For Wii U or Legend of
Zelda. Yeah. Actually, I heard a really funny thing. You know how sometimes they do, you know how they have Legends of Zelda Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, something, you know, I think they were planning, what if the Zelda title is The Legend of Zelda Broken Promises? You know, some colon thing like that, but it's like some
reference. Yeah, that's good.
Some irony thing.
But yeah, they're definitely going to bring out the title.
Yeah.
Some actual like truthful rumors, I suppose you could say, have been, I think one of them is called the Book of Truth, I think you say.
Book of Truth, yeah.
Because there's been, if you go to the e3.nintendo.com or something, all this is just like this eye that people have done their research, people who know Zelda better than I do, relate it back to the Sheikah race or whatever, who is Sheik.
Yeah.
and all that. And so and there's something about a book and
So Sheik's in it. Confirmed.
but I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah, keep going.
Sorry, I was going to say, now that we've already talked about it, but the whole thing that there's a new piece of concept art out there as well, one of many. But now it's looking more and more that Link is so androgynous that I still can't decipher whether he's male or female. And Link's always been a little bit like that, but not as much as he is now. It is now. I don't. Have you seen this? Have you seen what I'm talking about?
No. I really haven't looked too much into it, to be honest.
No, it's just even from the very first footage we saw of this game, which is someone put out another tweet, which is pretty much exactly 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We got the very first picture of that Zelda footage of that like big spider thing chasing him.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
I mean, so yeah, we'll see what they've done in 2 years.
Wow. But
do you think there'll be quite a big graphics update since the first gameplay?
I was actually thinking about this. Like, I think so. It already looks pretty great, but I think it would just be more of a bigger boost to it or something, or
maybe just some. I know. Sort of, it's got this cartoony look, but you know how that grass was sort of waving in the wind.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something more of a jump in graphics as you can see like individual strands of grass, whereas that sort of just looked like all sort of flowing kind of thing.
I guess so. Yeah.
One.
Yeah. Just more attention to detail.
Yeah. Details.
Yeah. No, you're probably right. But the whole thing with the androgynous thing, like people are saying now that maybe you can have a choice between choosing Link as a male or a female character.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case. I think they're either going to choose one way or the other. Either Link will be a male or a female because, and then they can't, and then they.
Well, where the hell does Linkle come from? Like,
why
create Linkle?
I don't think Nintendo created Linkle, because Hyrule Warriors was made by a different developer.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was just it's an offshoot thing. I don't think it's like proper lore canon.
Just confuses people.
I know.
Well, I mean, what if they do go for the whole choose whether you want to be a boy or a girl? What if they go further? Choose what color skin you have. You know, create what your Link looks like. That would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
This is what they do in Fire Emblem. They release, they release the actual character, Fire Emblem. You know, that's what your character is supposed to look like in the Smash Bros. Games and everything. But you can change him however the way you want him to look.
Sure.
So this is your main character, and his name's Corrin, but you can change the name and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you can already change Link's name. It doesn't have to be Link. It can be your name. So why not change the rest, you know?
That's fine for Corrin, because Corrin's a brand new character. He or she has been around for a year or so now. Link has been around for 30 years. So I don't think it'd be so wise to just drastically change who Link is just in just a very short period of time like this. I'd be all for that if you'd make it male or female.
I don't understand. I don't understand what the problem would be, because you can. It gives you the option. You can have it just normal Link. What's the problem with having more options? You know?
Yeah, I don't understand, because people nowadays are calling out for more diversity and more this and that, and then it'd be really bold of Nintendo to I suppose respond to that with one of the most beloved characters, and make a change. I don't know if it were female, if Link was just female for this game, that would send people flying.
Yeah.
But who gives a crap? Just accept it.
Yeah.
Like reading through some dumb, you shouldn't take YouTube comments with a grain of salt. They're as scathing as, but some of the comments were in some of the videos I was watching were just like, if Link is a female, like if you get the choice, then I'm not buying this game. Like Nintendo can burn in hell. I'm just thinking, really, why does it personally bother you?
Yeah.
Like what does that affect you in your day-to-day life? That
that you get so angry about it, burn in hell.
That you actually condemn people who do this. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's another thing I'd want out of the game. I'd actually want some diversity with Link, because Link's always been portrayed as as I said, as pretty androgynous, but also with the whole perspective that Link doesn't really have a voice.
Yeah.
So people have portrayed themselves as Link. So, just take that one step further, Make Link more of a reflection of the person playing as him or her.
We want options.
Options, yeah.
Jake, quests. Do you want, a quest log, an actual menu screen that gives you quests to do that you've accepted, side quests and everything, what your main quest is to remind you of where to go next?
I'm gonna say no, but I'm also gonna say Nintendo can do Zelda. They can do it in a more or less quest log kind of way.
Classic RPG.
Yeah,
right?
they can do it in a smarter way. Take it back to Majora's Mask. You've got a diary, I suppose you would call it.
Yeah.
And that tracks where the whole idea of that game is it's on a time cycle, so it tracks where people are at certain times during the day, and it tells. And if you interact with that with an event, it logs it, like a quest log kind of thing.
Yeah.
It logs it and then it tracks your progress. But it's not called quest log. It's not, it doesn't specifically say go here, do this. It says like you talk to this person at this time, and they said they'll be here at this time or something. They said they should do this. It's still up in the air, Zelda formula. It's still a puzzle that you have to solve. It's still clever, but it's not Fallout style or Dead Island style. It's got a quest log. You track it, and it gives you a route to follow.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
Well, I mean, they could just give you a more westernized quest list, but not give you a track to follow. They could just say, this is what you have to do next, but they don't tell you where to go, which is more Zelda. You don't know where to go next. You sort of got to go find where to go. You got to listen really carefully to what people are saying to give you hints about where to go. That could still happen. It just gives you a neat little list of things to do, and to keep track of what quests you've done and haven't done. I mean, that could work.
So yeah. So I guess by saying that, you're saying, because we know this game is pretty open world, by saying that we want a quest list, I guess that means we want a lot of NPCs in the world to take us all around the place.
Yeah.
To make the world feel fuller.
Yeah.
Because watching that footage we have seen of the game so far, the world seems huge. The world seems massive.
And empty.
Empty, yeah. Well, I mean, the footage they showed again was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So whatever they showed is completely different now, I'm guessing.
Well, this brings me to my next point. A lot of what I've played in Ocarina, the world is kind of empty. When you do get into these open world bits, there's not much to do there. I kind of want them to fill it with something. If there is a sort of open world area, in which there will be in New Zelda, make it more, I don't know, alive. You know what I mean?
How so? You could say the same thing about Skyrim. There are parts of that world which feel entirely empty.
But even so, I mean, there's random things that happen on the side of the road when you're going along. Some quests that can be done. Just random things that happen, random encounters kind of thing.
What would a Zelda quest entail? It wouldn't be a fetch quest. It wouldn't be an escort mission, would it?
Why not?
I don't think I'd want that.
What has Zelda ever had side quests?
I mean, I suppose so. Yeah, Ocarina of Time has the whole quest with the masks.
Oh yeah.
Which is pretty obscure, and it's you don't need any of that to finish the game, but it's there.
And sometimes you don't even the first time I played Ocarina, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Exactly.
I just thought it was a shop where you buy masks from. I didn't know it was, a quest kind of thing.
Yeah, and then you have the only way of you knowing that the quest is available is it's talking to one specific person, and then it sends you down a trail.
Yeah.
But in such a clever way, that's why. you have to be so observant to find
It's just, yeah. To me, Zelda differs from normal RPGs because it's so secretive, mysterious. You have to find your own way. There's so many secrets. I was watching sort of gameplay from the original Zelda game, the original Legend of Zelda, and that game was sort of like notorious for being so frustratingly hard to find what to do next and where to go, because there's like sort of, you just click on something and it opens, that's your dungeon, but there's nothing telling you to click there, right? I mean, would you like... I doubt it's going to go back to that. It's definitely going to be even less like that. It's going to be more approachable, more easy for new people to come in, because that's where games are going these days. Yeah. Where would you like it to go? Would you like to go back to its old roots, where it's just really just secretive, you have no idea what to do, but you're just going to go into this world and figure it out?
I found that Ocarina of Time struck a good balance of very secretive, but but if you just read carefully, if you just talk to the right people, there is a solution there. I think Ocarina of Time is perfect in that way. Twilight Princess got it too easy. You could always talk to what's her name, Minna, which is like the Navi of...
Oh, yeah. And she'll tell you what to do.
Yeah, she'll tell you where to go. She'll tell you what to do. Whereas Navi was a bit more reluctant. What would you call it?
She'd be like, I wonder what Saria would say.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like that.
Which would give you a hint, but then you would have to go and find Saria.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know where to find her.
Yeah.
Whereas Minna would say, "Hey, go here, do that," kind of thing. Which was okay. It just made the whole experience a bit easier and a bit more easier to traverse.
I guess I would like that for the main quests, for the main part of the game. And that's more approachable for a lot of newcomers to play as well. However, maybe if there's a lot of these side quest things like that mask thing, and make them really challenging, or make them as hard as the original Legend of Zelda, is you have no idea what to do. There's no hints to tell you to go there, but if you go there, this will happen, you know. Or if you open this, or if you click on this, something's going to happen. But there's nothing telling you to go there unless you just try things out or read a guide, And I love that whole exploration and process of Zelda it's just so fascinating to me. Yeah. No other game can do that, and I love that. And then Twilight Princess had moments like that, but they were very few and far between. Christ, promote. You know how Zelda games pretty much every game you always have a companion with you. Yeah, Navi, or Minna, or in Skyward Sword you had, I think her name was Fee. She was like spirit in your sword or some crap like that. Don't ask me.
Okay, well, you always had pretty much a companion, and then Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess, all the promotion leading up into those games, those companions were found in promotional posters and trailers. We've seen none of that so far. All we've seen is Epona. Do you think Link is
What's
going
Epona?
The horse.
Right.
What's Epona? do you think Zelda's Link's going to be kind of alone on this time?
Maybe the horse tells you where to go.
Talking horse?
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be... I would prefer that, I think.
Really?
Without this weird fairy thing hanging around?
No. I mean, Navi was annoying to the point of extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
But she was also pretty helpful in times when you needed it. So, I don't know.
Maybe your button will come up in the bottom. Press B for a hint.
No. But they use it to good effect in Twilight Princess. Skyward Sword was annoying because Fee didn't really play a vital role to the story. Midna, on the other hand, was a very excellent and flawed character because she was a part of the story, but she was also your helping guide through the game. So that was really cool. So I don't, maybe make another Midna-like character, or maybe Link will have another fairy around him this time. That'd be alright, right?
Maybe, yeah.
It's just that we've seen none of that so far, which I don't know.
Well, we haven't seen anything yet.
Again, it's just...
let's talk dungeons. Again, I've only played Ocarina Dungeons. how do they differ from other games? Are they sort of this kind of the same thing every game?
Yeah, it's the big bookmark things of the game which indicate you've beat this section of the game, now move on to this section. They kind of indicate.
So we can kind of pretty much expect this Zelda to have a fire dungeon, a water dungeon kind of thing.
I guess I don't see them breaking tradition like that.
Yeah.
Whereas Majora's Mask had a water temple, I think, but they also had I think it was like a earth ground thing or whatever. And they had an ice temple in there as well. But there's also this rumor that came out this week. I don't know how believable this is, but it said they'll break it up, whereas they'll have 4 main big dungeons which take 3 to 4 hours to finish, like most dungeons.
Yeah.
But they'll also be scattered with over 100 mini dungeons. So I don't know how to take that.
They could be like side quest things.
Sure. Yeah. And then I thought of it as that in both in Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, there are parts in the game where you come across where you put a bomb next to a big boulder and then you fall down the hole.
Yeah.
And they present little challenges like defeat all the enemies and you get a chest. They could be classed as quote unquote mini dungeons, but instead of just beating enemies, they present like a new quirk to a gameplay element. Like you have to use one of your items to figure out a little puzzle.
What would you say if the new Zelda only had 4 dungeons, but they were massive? Takes like 3 hours to complete. But then there's lots of side dungeons which are like, 15, 20 minute kind of things.
I actually wouldn't mind that. That'd actually be okay.
Yeah.
Because
rather than having like 10 dungeons which are like, 45 minutes to an hour each.
Yeah, because the dungeons, I keep going back to Twilight Princess because it's my most recently played, I suppose, but those dungeons, there are about 11 or 12 dungeons in Twilight Princess, which again take about 2 hours to finish each.
Yeah.
Even if you know what you suppose you should be doing. And they segmented the game just so basic,
Yeah.
You move on from one dungeon to the next. There's no...
If there are dungeons that do take like 3 even more hours to complete, hopefully you can save and then you'd be exactly where you are when you finish,
Is that another thing that would change? Typically Zelda games, you save and you...
return to a start point.
Yeah.
I hope... I mean, they did say it was going to be sort of a more traditional westernized style approach. So I hope, when you do save, you just start exactly where you saved.
Yeah. I mean, if the world's that big, you don't want to save and take you way back to the starting area. You have to make your way all through that again. Yeah. What about fast travel? Is that going to be a thing?
It depends how big the world is.
Yeah.
I don't really see it as... I don't think it's going to be as big as, these Elder Scroll games or Witcher kind of thing. I think it's going to be big, but not that big.
I mean, there's fast travel in Twilight Princess. And that was pretty handy to get around because that world is pretty big.
I think there will be fast travel for a game that gets released in 2017 because people these days are just impatient.
Yeah. Yeah.
But especially if you do have to restart at a spawn point every time you turn the game on, there definitely has to be fast travel for that.
Absolutely. Can we touch on that? I just got a list of things a little bit here. One thing that came up which I thought was actually pretty interesting was that boss battles are usually confined to a dungeon. At the end of every dungeon, you know it's coming, you know to expect it. One thing that someone brought up was that maybe boss battles shouldn't be confined to the little areas of the dungeon. They should be brought into the massive open world, and then you use the elements of the world around you to defeat the boss, which I thought was a pretty interesting idea. And it's hinted at that in that very first trailer, that big spider thing was chasing you around. And it seemed like it was the open world he was chasing you around in.
Could be like if you go too far out, it could say you're going too far, go back. Or there'd just be like this invisible wall.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I suppose so.
That would be pretty bad. Yeah. I mean, that's probably why all these boss battles are in these dungeons with proper walls and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it isn't like the point of that so you would beat the boss? I mean, you could just run away, couldn't you?
I suppose so. I mean, take it to Skyrim. Like, you find a dragon. Can you run away from it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. But they're most dragons that you find are just random encounters. There are some times where you do have to fight the dragon, but
Yeah. I don't know. Like I'm thinking about in Xenoblade Chronicles as well. You come across boss battles which are in the overworld, but it's not like you can run away from it. You have to beat it right there and then. But they're still in the open world.
Yeah.
You've still got.
I guess you kind of don't even think about running away when it's like part of your mission or quest.
No.
I haven't even considered sort of, going the other way, running away from it.
What about speaking of, I guess, on dungeons as well? How many items you get in the game? Because typically in each dungeon you get an item.
Yeah.
That's also a very assumed thing about Zelda games.
Yeah.
And that item is used to make your way out or in and out of that dungeon. And typically that item is whether other than the bow and arrow or the bomb. Typically some items are very underused. And
Well, that's kind of the same style of gameplay that they've had since the beginning of Zelda. Just like in Pokemon, they still have those HMs that you have to use.
Yeah. And we've talked about how we want HMs to kind of disappear.
Yeah, just change it up. Get more modern. That could be the same thing with Zelda. Do you have to have these actual items to complete these dungeons?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I would want... There are some cool items that just never come back, like Twilight Princess. Again, you got the ball and chain, which is probably the most underused item in that game. Or you got the spinner, I think they call it, which is awesome item, but it's so rarely used. And it's a shame. So if they could just make, I suppose, fewer items, make you already have the bow and arrow by default, because it seems like a pretty important item.
Yeah.
Make you have bombs by default, but make these cooler, more obscure items. Like find them in the dungeons. If you said there's only 4 dungeons, make them 4 new items.
You don't want too many, do you?
No, but then there's also the fact that if you're only getting 4 new items in the course of the whole game, there's nothing else to kind of pull you along. Something else to look forward to. Each Zelda dungeon you come across, there was the hint, the excitement of something new in that chest, which is pretty cool.
That's why there could be lots of side things. They're optional, but if you do a side quest kind of thing, you know you're going to get a cool item, which isn't required to complete the game, but it's exciting and it probably might help.
Yeah,
you
for
can
sure.
use these things,
Yeah.
Heaps, maybe like heaps of different kinds of swords.
That would be cool. Yeah.
I mean, what kind of swords do they have in Zelda games? They just have like 2 or 3 kinds of swords.
Usually about 3 is the maximum.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe they could have like 10 different kinds of swords that you can find.
And actually each one has its own kind of stats and buffs that you want to switch in and out of, not just when you get the Master Sword you stick with that.
Different shields, even.
That's interesting.
Do you get different kinds of, clothing, like boots and everything? Or is that just still like 2 or 3 different kinds?
I mean, you get the tunics, which, the red one makes you imperious to fight, to fire and stuff like that. But actually make them, and then Twilight Princess, you get the iron boots, which make you sink to the bottom of water and stuff. But actually make them, instead of actually having them make an impact in the overworld, which makes you figure out puzzles, which is cool, make them also stat build your Link, which would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be alright. One thing that was also brought up in a video, which I entirely agree on, and I wouldn't have thought of this, but it's a very good suggestion, is fix the economy. Fix the economy in the game. Zelda games have more and more, rupees have just been
given to you. Yeah.
You find hundreds of rupees just in chests, and you cut grass, and there are 20 rupees just right there in front of you.
You know where to look as well. If you need some rupees, you just go to these places and you can get them easily.
Yeah. And then Twilight Princess, you get a wallet that can fit 1,000 rupees, and it's just...
I mean, that's okay, but make them rarer. Make them harder to get.
Going from Twilight Princess, which the rupee count was just abysmal, and then I had a full wallet at all times. Then going back and playing Twilight Princess, where rupees I found were more scarce, I was actually at one point struggling to find rupees, and that was enjoyable.
Yeah, it's good because like when you sort of come across an area where there are some rupees, usually just skip it, but it'll make you just try and check everything, If you're, in a dungeon or something, you need to check every, smash every pot or something, smash everything to try and find these rupees.
Yeah. Make it decision, like, make the rupees decision based. Like when you come to having to purchase an item, like do you refill on bombs,
Yeah.
or do you purchase a better shield? Make that a tough choice because you know rupees are more scarce.
Yeah.
That would make me pretty happy actually, because item buying and that kind of thing is just, it's pretty useless.
Yeah.
That's it.
I've kind of got the same. I mean, a different argument with Animal Crossing. You know how you sort of have like a daily routine with Animal Crossing, trying to get your money and everything.
Yeah.
Do you find that you'd get too much money in one day?
Too much money.
I mean, I always get the money from there's always a gem that you can find, like it's a sapphire or ruby or something like that. There's always a rock that has about 8,000 coins. And then there's fossils that I'll sell.
Yeah.
And then some fruit that I can sell off the trees. That's pretty much it that I do every day though. But on average I get about 20,000 every day. 20,000 bells, they're called bells.
Yeah, that's pretty much about it. And then it came to a point where I would fish all the time as well every day.
Oh yeah.
But the fish I had already donated to the museum, I'll just sell as well.
Do you get a lot of money for fish?
Not really, but if you fish enough, they all add up, you know?
Yeah.
You could just clear your inventory, then go and fish with just your fishing rod, fill it all up with fish, and then you get a good maybe 6,000-7,000 bells.
Yeah. Oh, I should probably do that. Yeah. I mean, I do catch the odd bug and sell it. You don't get much for it, but...
There you go. Yeah. Well, just a few things I also wanted to bring up was more challenging, someone did say.
Oh, okay.
I think we did touch
difficulty options.
That'd be alright. Well, I don't know. Like, difficulty options aren't usually a Nintendo kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they have been introducing it with...
Make it like Dark Souls, just the one option, but it's just incredibly hard.
What if?
You died.
They have been introducing difficulty options with these remakes. Like, there's been a normal mode and a hero mode.
Yeah.
Like a New Game Plus kind of thing, which have been, well received.
Was it like Master Quest?
Master Quest, yeah. They've been well received, so...
Even with, isn't it Donkey Kong on the 3DS? You have the original mode and the new mode. One's more difficult, something like that.
Yeah. So they found other ways to make their core franchises more difficult or more easy, depending on what kind of game you are.
Yeah.
Make Zelda that as well.
Yeah. Well, what would change though in the difficulty? Obviously, nothing to do with the puzzles. Maybe, maybe nothing even to do with the gameplay mechanics or the how the enemies fight. Just maybe they take more life off when you get hit.
Yeah, and
kind of thing.
That's the thing of hero mode.
Like is that it?
Yeah, you get more hearts taken off.
Yeah.
It's a ratio kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like puzzles the same and that kind of thing.
Enemies don't get faster or anything. It's just the same. Yeah.
I think the AI just improves itself a little bit.
Oh,
I think enemies are
not dumber.
Not dumber. I think
not
so.
as dumb.
Yeah, I think that would be another way to improve it. One last thing I did want to bring up was that someone suggested a better opening to the game.
Oh yeah, but we did talk about this. Like, we don't mind a slow opening.
I love a slow opening.
Yeah.
So I completely disagree with that entirely. It just, if this is such a big game, and if this is Zelda games are typically big, and you want to get to know the characters, you want to get to know the world. I love slow openings.
I disagree with something that opens. It has to be this big action scene. Sometimes I hate that. Sometimes it's pointless. And then, sometimes, like Fire Emblem, for example, I know you said you liked the opening for Birthright, but it opens with, chapter 6 in the game.
Yeah.
It is kind of a dream sequence, but you know what's going to happen in chapter 6, where it's the opening of the game, where it doesn't need to be that. It can just be this slow intro.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, well, Xenoblade Chronicles, big action sequence at the beginning of the game. But,
is this the original?
Yes.
Okay.
But after that sequence, it strips it right back to just humble beginnings kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was a good kind of bait and switch.
Yeah.
You know what to come to expect, but it also character builds at the same time. But Zelda games, 2 or 3 hours, great opening, village life kind of thing.
That's what I like.
Love that.
Yeah.
And not many people do, unfortunately. But they kind of treat it as a tutorial as well, and hardcore fans don't want a tutorial, but if they're trying to appeal to all players, they need that. They can't please everyone. So anyway, that's what I want Zelda Wii U to be.
Yeah, pretty much me as well. That's all I can say.
Wow, people are expecting big things from this.
Next time we're on doing this show, we'll know what it is.
Oh yeah.
An hour and a half of footage, we'll see. Yeah, I can't wait for E3. Hey, 4 days, Monday to Thursday, starting in, what time is it now? It's 9 o'clock, so starting in pretty much 9 hours, E3 begins. Is that right? Yeah, 9 hours. Wow, it's close. We're going to end the show like we always do with Nosh Shuffle. This is a segment where we shuffle a list of games, which is 100 games from our childhood. We've already gone through, I think, 11 of them. This is game 12 then. Let me just double check that. This is game 13. Last week was Assassin's Creed. This week is a new game, a game from our childhood. We'll shuffle the list. The shuffle has brought up number 15, and that is Star Wars Episode 1 Racer.
Is that what it's called?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay.
It's a Nintendo 64 title.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
I do.
This is it's from the original movie, the Episode 1 movie, and thing that the best thing about this game is that you got to play as Anakin Skywalker in his pod racer and go through his the Tatooine course, the actual Tatooine course, and it's exactly like it's from the movie as well. You've got the original beginning, you've got the big open landscape, and then you've even got that bit where they're going through the you
have to go sideways
through that wall and everything, and then you verse Sebulba, and it's got all the other characters from the movie as well. They've made the models and the characters from all of them. What made this game even greater was they built all these other courses from around the Star Wars universe on different planets and everything. I don't remember how many courses there were, but I mean, these courses weren't in the movie or anything. They were just created from the game developers. So it's pretty much all based off that one scene from the movie. Awesome game though. And you could play as any character. Yeah. You could play as Sebulba, you could play as anyone. Could you knock them out and make them crash?
Like F-Zero style?
Yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. Not sure.
But we never owned this game. This was a game that we always rented.
Yeah. And I don't remember too much about it, but it just like you kept saying, it just at the time it felt like you were playing the movie.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. We'd played that Tatooine course so much just because like it was just from the movie.
Yeah.
And that was around the time where that movie was huge. It was around the time when Star Wars games were huge.
Was sorry, the awning. Was that movie, it's pretty much hated across the board right now, and forever will be, but was that movie loved when it first came out? Because it was such a big break between Star Wars, people loved it just because?
We have a really different view of it because we were kids, so I loved it, but watching it now as an adult, I could see where people were coming from. It wasn't as good as I originally thought it was. I just thought it was awesome because it's a Darth Maul, the lightsaber battle at the end.
Yeah.
The music was awesome as well. It still is, but watching it now, it's pretty. I don't know, it's pretty cringeworthy. I guess the droid battle at the end and everything is that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it as much as the internet does.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I think it's just an alright film.
Yeah.
I still think Darth Maul's one of the greatest Star Wars characters ever.
He's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a shame that pod racing and even Darth Maul was used in such a little, extent.
I know. Yeah. I mean, pod racing did take up a large chunk of the movie, but you don't really see it in any other part of the Star Wars universe.
It's not even mentioned, really.
Nothing's mentioned about it or anything. I guess it is just kind of a Tatooine thing. And then, but
so.
Yeah, it is kind of disappointing that Darth Maul wasn't used at all.
Yeah.
But it's awesome that they made a dedicated Star Wars game to pod racing. I mean, this is what we were talking about before. We want new Star Wars games that don't focus just on lightsaber battles. We want Star Wars games that focus on gun battles as well as just you know, using your vehicles, like in the episode 2 Attack of the Clones, you could use the vehicle the whole time. And this is just a pod racing game. So
Would you want to see a modern day pod racer?
it would not sell today though.
No?
I mean, because of now there is so much hate for the film,
Sure.
and the hate comes from pretty much little Anakin as a pod racer.
Little Annie.
Little Annie in pod racing. I just don't think that people would respond well to a game about pod racing anymore. Even though it was so cool when we were younger.
That's fair enough. Yeah. It's so weird how, like, I'm sure this game doesn't hold up too well now.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since.
No, but it's so weird that at the time it felt so responsive and so good to play.
The only other course I remember is one that's sort of at night time and there was a big jump. It was kind of like got a purple colour palette to it. Do you remember any other courses?
I remember there's an ice level.
Yeah.
Like a glacier kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was really bad at it because we didn't play it very much. But yeah, just a really obscure game that you wouldn't see today, I suppose. Which is a bit sad. I wonder how much this game is selling for it nowadays.
It might be one of those rare titles.
Yeah. I wonder if I've seen it around.
It had one of those front covers where it was I think it was like a real life picture rather than sort of the animation graphics.
It was, yeah.
It was like an actual photo of the Star Wars Episode 1.
I guess that's what helped you purchase the game.
Yeah,
as well,
yeah. It was like a marketing thing. Well, not marketing, but
yeah. I do remember like the menus of this game where you car select and that kind of thing were set in the garage where.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what's that little guy called? The little flying guy?
No, I don't know.
No, I don't remember. But yeah, he's there and he kind of like talks to you and stuff.
And because it was, I think, who like made the game? LucasArts or something? Yeah. They had the exact same sound effects from the movie as well.
Yeah.
Which helped. Like the exact same sound effects that for the pod and selecting the cars, you had the part sounds and everything.
Yep.
And I think even the same voice for that guy, like Sebulba and all that. I think they had the same voices.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Maybe we should look up IMDb, even if that Anakin kid was the voice of Anakin.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It probably is him.
Yeah, that's the only thing he did do.
Yeah. And Jingle All the Way.
Oh, yeah.
That was him.
Oh, yeah. That was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, yeah. I do miss this game, but I would never see me playing it now, I guess.
You would play the original course if you had an option to.
Yeah, sure, but that would be it.
That would be it.
Yeah.
I don't think I could even play. I don't think I could even pick up a Nintendo 64 controller and know how to use it anymore.
How weird was that controller?
Yeah, I don't think I could do it. Yeah, that's the end of our show for this week. That's episode 16. When we are back, it'll be episode 17. And that'll be about what we thought of E3. Because what would be probably doing it Thursday night, Friday night?
Sure.
Probably maybe Friday night since...
Has to be Thursday, sorry.
Thursday. Or maybe on the weekend.
Can't be the weekend. We'll talk about this.
Okay, we'll talk about this, but I need time to review, like watch the shows.
Yeah.
Give me some time.
Yeah.
What we're planning to do is releasing an episode with just our thoughts on E3, and then an episode straight afterwards of us pretty much discussing every single game that was mentioned at E3. So, yeah, it's looking good though.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Oh, Zelda. We're going to find out Zelda so soon.
So next time you hear our voices, you'll know what Zelda is, and so will we. We'll either be really happy or really sad.
I think I'll be sad.
No, it won't be sad. Alright, until then, we'll see you all later.
Bye.